All right, Grandpa, I'm gonna ask you some questions here, just some basic questions, and I hope you got your memory cap on here.
Okay.
All right, and we already discussed why we were wanting to do this. Like I said, just
I forgot that already.
it doesn't surprise me. But we were wanting to do this so we have this on tape
Oh,
for
God.
for future generations.
Oh, God.
Just kind of have a record of it.
Oh, okay.
All right. So it won't take too much time, but I think it's important
Okay.
as the years go by. think
I
it
can
becomes more
understand
important.
that, okay.
So what the first thing I want you to do is if you would just go ahead and state your full name.
Donald Frederick Holdinghouse,
And when were you born? When and where were you born?
102425 in St. Louis.
In St. Louis. All right. So you lived up in St. Louis until your ninth grade, 10th grade, or for when did you move away from there?
Actually, we moved out in Overland when I was in about the 8th grade.
Suburb of St. Louis, or
Yeah.
okay. And then from there, where did you go?
No, just around this area here.
So you've been here local to St.
Yeah.
or the Crystal City Fest area
Yeah. For
a
that
long
time,
time.
yes.
Okay.
Since then.
Since then. All right. When did you join the service? I know you joined the Navy.
When I was 18.
You were 18, so that'd have been what year? 1943?
Whatever. Whenever.
Whenever. That's a pretty good time frame. I like that. Okay, so you joined the Navy, you went through the basic training and
Yeah.
stuff like that. How much of that do you remember?
Oh, quite a bit of it. I don't remember real detail of it, what I mean. So I remember some of the names of the places.
Right. Do you know you went to basic training yet?
Well, now I know it a few minutes ago.
Okay.
Portland, Oregon.
Portland,
No,
Oregon?
No, not Portland, Oregon. I can't think of the thing for that. I'll think of it.
Okay. What about your rank? Do you remember that?
I was Gunner's Mate 3rd class.
Gunner's Mate 3rd class? Okay. Which would have been what out?
E4.
E4? Okay. Gotcha. So you got through basic training, and then what happened after that? When were you assigned to the Petroff Bay?
Right after basic training, I went directly to the, it was Portland, Oregon is where it was, to commission the ship. It was a new ship that they were made, it was a baby carrier.
Right. And what was the number of it? It was a CVE?
CVE 80,
And do you know what the CVE stand for?
converted carrier, I think.
Okay. And so it was what, a baby aircraft carrier
Yeah.
or a...
Yeah, that's what they call a baby aircraft.
Okay. So once you arrived on the ship, you got done with basic training and you arrived on the ship, what was life like at that point? And this is before you set out for the Pacific, during World War II.
Really what happened is we had to go up and, they were just commissioning this ship, so there was a lot of work to be done on the ship yet.
Uh-huh.
And we were aboard and just got the gunnery, the 3rd Division, which was the gunnery division,
Uh-huh.
made sure that the guns and everything were in place and the armory was set up right and all that.
Okay. And so, what year, or you remember what year that you guys actually took off out of, the ship was finished up and...
The first year, I was only in about 6 months before we left.
Okay.
But I mean, at that time it was that you went in and you were put aboard ship down there immediately. It's
Okay.
What happened to me, I got out of boot camp and went directly into Farragut, Idaho is where I went to boot camp.
Okay.
And from there went directly up to Portland. And we had I think a 2-week leave in between the time when we graduated from base camp or whatever it was. We had a 2-week leave and went home, and I came back to Portland and went directly to the ship from there.
Okay. So you guys depart depart from Portland, Oregon, and you start heading down south to the
Yeah.
this Pacific Theater.
Yeah.
What was the morale like? What
Well,
was
very
kind of
good.
was it?
Yeah, it was very good. Nobody really, everybody was new, you know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
we were learning our trade, is basically what, and like I say, I got into the gunner's mate. I thought they were the ones that shoot the guns.
Uh-huh.
Of course they aren't. They're the ones that fix the guns.
Okay.
So, but that's what I did, was work on armor. I was in charge of the armory aboard ship, yeah, all the small arms and that aboard ship.
Okay. So once you got down south into the Pacific Theater and started seeing combat and stuff like that, what was life like on the ship then?
Pretty miserable because you didn't have anything to do, and you couldn't. You had to be at a certain time at a certain place at a certain time and board ship if you were on duty or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And you went on duty and got off for a few hours, you know, and either got to sleep or eat or something like that, and you're back on duty. So it was a continuous learning thing on the ship, whatever.
Did at times did it get pretty mundane on the ship?
Yes,
Yeah.
it could get quite boring at times, what I mean.
Right.
Actually, when most of us, none of us had been out to sea before, so it was kind of thrilling because we didn't know what was happening half the time. What I mean, we'd do different things, and they'd have maneuvers and that with other ships, and
Uh-huh.
it was a lot of curiosity just seeing what was going on. What I mean.
Right.
And we have gunners practice and so on and so forth.
What would the gunner's practice entail?
Well, it was a lot of times aircraft, and what they do is pull a target over alongside the ship when we shoot at it.
Uh-huh.
It'd be an airplane pulling up. They had a long line on it. It was probably 300 or 400 foot behind the airplane.
Right.
Otherwise, we'd have probably shot the plane down. But we had 20 millimeters. We had aboard ship, 40 millimeters,
Uh-huh.
and one 5-inch 38. So we had 20 millimeters. I think was 10 on each side,
Uh-huh.
and we had
Do you know how many 40 millimeter you had?
one on the bow, one on the fantail, or not on the fantail, but the aft end of the ship. We had 8 of them.
Okay. So let me ask. So once you got down there, and the first time, you know, the alert sounded for what was it, general
General quarters.
general quarters. What was going through your mind then?
What the hell was happening?
With
What it was basically, it was the time of the suicide planes.
kamikazes?
Yeah, we were one of the first groups over there that were getting hit by the suicide planes.
Okay.
So we shot down, I think, around 5. One we got within about 50 foot from the fantail when we finally shot it down. But then I think the Santee or the Swanee, one of the two, there was another carrier, was hit right alongside of us with a suicide plane. So we see quite a bit of action there.
Okay. And you talk about action. You were also involved in all the major campaigns down in South, like Guadalcanal, the Marianas
Yeah.
Turkey Shoot.
All that, we were in it. What I mean, our planes were in it.
Right.
Most of the time, we couldn't see anything. Very seldom. Okinawa was the only place that we could see much, had a chance to see much, and then you couldn't see much on the beach or anything what was
Sure.
happening. We were about a mile out to sea, what I mean.
Uh-huh.
But we were in Okinawa, and we could see that. That's where we first got attacked,
Uh-huh.
and we had. Then we went down to the Philippines, and had a couple torpedoes shot at us. Went up one side, both sides of us.
Uh-huh.
And I looked out. I could look down through the gun spots of the deck, and one porpoise right underneath me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what did you think when you saw that?
Well, I darn near had to go wipe my butt. Let's face it.
Okay. So during times like that, okay, you like Okinawa and
Iwo
Iwo
Jima.
Jima, and what were some of the other big ones?
Iwo, there was Leyte,
Leyte Gulf, right?
and the Philippines. Maybe.
Okay.
Went to Luzon,
Right.
down in the Philippines.
All right. So the time that you know, obviously we know you made it through the war. You made it through. Conflicts are with Japanese surrender after they dropped the atomic bombs in Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Yeah.
So now the war's over with, and you all start sailing back to your home port.
San Francisco.
So what was once they declared the war was over with? What was going through your mind then? What was life like then? Were you, everybody thrilled? Were you?
How can you get out? How can you get home?
Okay, so you're just ready
That's the
to get
only
up out
thing
of
you
there.
think about, how you get you home. What I mean.
Uh-huh.
And when will you be discharged? So that's all it was. What I mean.
Yeah. So ship.
Everybody was ready to go home. We went back into, I think, in Frisco, where was our first port that we went back to.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some good times on the beach. We'll put it that way.
Right.
So we didn't get off the ship too much compared to a lot of the guys. What I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, I had my fun.
Right. Yeah.
I won't say anything other than that.
Don't want to incriminate yourself.
No.
Huh? So you get back to San Francisco, and then what happens after that? They send you back. Everybody they discharge you. You get discharged from the Navy.
Well,
and,
basically yes, but it was quite a procedure throughout. It was back about 2 or 3 months before I got out,
uh-huh.
and we went down through the Panama Canal. Went down through the Panama Canal, which was interesting,
Uh-huh.
and went up the. The hell was the name of it? I can't remember. It was a port on the East Coast. We decommissioned the ship up there.
Once you decommissioned the ship, what was going through your mind then? What were the thoughts? Because that had been your home for 2 years or so.
Yeah. Well, when I was home, when when we were decommissioned, it was kind of strange because you see everything being tore apart. They scrap a lot of stuff, you know what I mean. They eventually sunk the ship. What I mean.
Is that what they did? They sunk the ship?
They sunk it. Whatever. But we weren't on it then, or what?
Right.
There, what I mean. I'm trying to think what the name of the place is down on the coast, the southern coast. But I can't think of the name of the port that we were in.
Right.
Offhand, what I mean. But that was about it. What I mean.
Yeah.
I wasn't one of the last ones on there. What I mean.
Right.
That's when they start shipping us out, sending us home. You know what I mean.
Okay, so they sent you back to St. Louis. And what was life like immediately after the war for you?
I didn't do much of anything, to be truthful with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I got engaged when I got back.
To who?
Oh my God, I can't even think of her name now. That's how long ago it's been. Santina Vitale.
Okay.
She lived about 3 houses from me.
All right.
That didn't last long.
Yeah, it didn't last long. And then, well, how much longer was it before or after that you met Grandma?
Oh, about a year.
About a year?
Yeah. And met her. And, I'm trying to think of the tavern that we were in. Was a whole bunch of, all the neighbors were, all the local people were going to this one little tavern.
Uh-huh.
God, that's one thing I thought I'd never forget. But anyhow, I met your mother and ended up there.
Okay. After that, I guess as they say, the rest is history then.
Yeah,
You had 3 kids and I don't know how many grandkids.
well,
Quite a
we
few.
didn't have the grandkids through
Well,
that, so,
yeah.
I mean, it took a
Right.
little while to get the grandkids.
Yeah, it did. Okay, so like I said, thanks
Yeah.
for thanks for sharing that
Yeah.
information with
Well,
us.
I can understand
And,
for having something like that, what I mean.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's important.
I just wish I could remember the dates and the times,
well,
names better,
well,
but
it's been 50, 60, 70 years or so.
How about-
So I mean, it's
89.
so it's well, yeah, you're
Yeah.
89, but I
Yeah.
mean, so but going back
I
as
was
far as
20
what we
years
did,
old, so whatever.
Yeah, that's still pretty good.
Yeah. But, oh, Victory Inn was the name of the place.
Victory Inn.
Victory Inn. It was a little beer place, what I mean, they had. one of
Was
them.
that in St. Louis or was it down
It
here?
was in, out in Oberlin,
Okay,
right? We lived in Mary Ridge,
right.
and it was only about 3 blocks from Mary Ridge. So it was a local tavern, we'll put it that way. They had dancing down there. We'd go down, booze it up and dance. And, yeah, that's about it.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Grandpa.
Okay, have
Appreciate
fun.
That's it.
Goodbye.